Yo, bro.
Yo, bro.
Yo, bro.
What's up?
I think I hit that age where I actually care about my lawn.
Damn, dude. Wait, but I got a important question.
What's the question?
For you or for the neighbors?
That's a great question. And until this season, it would have been for the neighbors because I just didn't give a fuck either way.
Okay.
So if I did give a fuck, it would have been for the neighbors. This season, I see what's possible. And it just makes me want to like do it. You know what I mean?
I'm out here doing it for the love of the game.
Love of the game, dude. I mean, so I got my riding mower and it's the deck's a little slanted. So instead
Mine
of,
too.
what I should do is go take it to get it tuned up. I mow the whole thing and then I kind of go back on opposite. Like if I went this way one time, I'm gonna go this way to level it out.
Yeah.
Probably waste a lot of gas and oil, but soon enough I'll get it maintenance.
Okay.
Also, that thing hasn't got different oil in, I'm gonna say 13 years.
You just slam a little more in there, dude. You don't got to really do nothing other than that, right?
It might be bone dry, bro.
You should probably get a little something in there, but lube it up, dude.
And then did I tell
Better
you
when
about
it's lubricated, trust me.
I hear you. Did I tell you about the mulch plug?
I don't think it's supposed to plug nothing, dude. You shouldn't have a plug. What does that mean?
Did I tell you about the mulch plug?
No.
All right. So last season when I was mowing, I wouldn't stay on top of it. So I had a bunch of the trimmings were like this big. And for the listeners out there, the trimmings were about 4 inches. And then they would lay on my lawn and kill the lawn under it.
Yeah.
Well, I got the mulching blades. I think you suggested I get the mulching blades.
Yep.
However, when you do mulching, you also need a mulching plug. The plug just goes over the hole and it allows the grass to stay under and keep getting cut and keep getting continually cut as opposed to shooting out the deck right away. So I got the mulch plug.
Gotcha.
I got the mulch blades. And dude, I'm excited. And I don't mean to bore you guys about lawn care, but guys, if you ain't into it yet and you got a lawn, you might either be younger than me or you just don't give a fuck. I don't know what to say.
I'm in that second category. Hey, how you doing? I don't give a fuck, dude. The thing is,
what's crazy?
What's crazy?
Ahead.
Not you.
Well, all right, I appreciate it. Look, love your house. You got a great spot.
Yeah.
Love it. The lawn, it would take you about 45 minutes to do your lawn and do everything right.
Oh, no. No. Okay, well, I just did the back, and to do everything right, it took me 2 hours. Just the back, not the front.
You're doing something wrong, bro.
It's a matter of okay, so
yeah,
it was the first mow of the season.
Well, there you go. All right,
that was part of the problem.
Okay,
part of the problem. Does it normally take that? Hell no. But 45 minutes is not enough time. It's about like 90 minutes for the whole thing, doing everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's edging included too. Like you're
I'm including edging. Yep.
So
I stay edging.
I would say with that, like that's enough time where you can care about it, you can enjoy it, and it still doesn't body your day.
No.
Mine.
Yeah.
You've seen mine.
Yeah. No, yours is a fucked up endeavor. There's no doubt about it. But
Jesus.
But I don't think like the effort's not why I don't want to do it. I love the exercise. I'm going and walking that amount of time every day anyway.
I know.
So it's like, yeah, that's fine. I don't mind doing it. I just don't. It doesn't give me any inherent pleasure at all for my lawn to be nice, and I don't give a flying fuck what my neighbors think. Or really anyone.
Your lawn, you're close enough where you both could step out on the front porch one day and just both look at each other and be like, yo, you gotta fix your lawn. You're close enough that you might have that awkward moment one day.
Well, the problem, I'm gonna put someone on blast here. Part of the problem is that the neighbor next to me, one neighbor, immaculate, bro.
Yeah.
They kill it. It's so nice.
Yeah.
The other side, I would have to refight the weeds like 6 times a season because of what's coming over.
Don't be like that.
No,
dude. Don't be like, bro. My neighbor the other day had the fucking balls. Had the balls. We're at the fence. We're at his fence. A nice vinyl fence, by the way. He's got 2 dandelions in his backyard. He's doing great. He goes, yeah, I think some of your dandelions made their way over.
Don't take that guy being a dickhead out on me.
Fuck up, bro.
This person has
4
like
neighbors.
Okay, this person literally has like 8 to 12 different types of weed, and you see the encroachment. It's crazy. Like I'm being invaded. Straight up. I'm only fighting a war on one front, so it's like kind of winnable, you know? But I'm not Germany yet. But
do you got trees that you're dealing with too? Because I have no trees on my property, and I got more fucking leaves on my yard than any human being should ever have. I got 0 trees.
I get
trees. All the leaves though. Yeah, see?
You know, I'm not blaming the person. I would never, because I don't care. So I'm not holding them accountable at all. That's the way I operate.
Sure.
But it would just be way more work because of them to really actually go above and beyond and keep it nice, like the person on the other side of me does.
Yeah.
But they put so much time and effort into it. Like I see it, dude. Like that's their hobby.
Yeah.
It's just not it's not my hobby, you know?
No, I hear
I'm not in it for the love of the game. But I'm glad you're enjoying the process.
I am, but you know what's messed up is my backyard has got those 2 big pine trees. So I'm basically saying backyard is it's no man's land. It's fair game for nature to run its course.
Drogo's
inside,
playground.
Yeah,
it's Draco's. Sorry,
it's unfortunate too, because like I built that fence for him.
Yeah,
I want him to be able to like sprint and have fun. Half the time he comes in and his freaking hooves are covered in sap, and I'm just like, damn.
Yep,
is what it is, dude.
Yeah, I think we're gonna section off part of the yard.
Mm-hmm.
And do a little thing
for the boy.
For the boy, yeah. Just section off part of the yard and just keep it nice. Maybe turf it. I don't know.
Have you? Okay. All right. Let's.
I think on the neighbor front, I could also section it if I really wanted to.
On the neighbor front, what do you mean?
In the front yard, to fight the encroachment, I just go scorched earth. You know what I mean? Like they're coming for me, and I'm going scorched earth. Like I burn a line right through the middle.
I know.
Okay,
left or right?
And that's your turf side? Are you saying that's your turf side then?
No, he's talking about his front.
No, it's the front yard. We're talking backyard for the turf, but I don't know.
Left side neighbor. If you walk out of your house, left side or right side?
You walk out, it's on the left.
Oh man, that guy, and he's saying you guys can look at each other when you both walk out.
Oh, for sure. And the thing is, neither of us leave the house, so we don't have to.
Oh, all right,
he's cut from the same cloth.
Oh, God.
That dude's car stays parked. My man. My man, lock in.
I'm surprised.
And he's in good shape. He's yoked, you know?
Oh.
Yeah.
Last thing before we dive in, I'm surprised your neighborhood doesn't have like a HOA type.
They do.
Oh.
There's letters.
Okay.
I've got one.
No, not even. I hear you on that. Unfortunately, that sucks. But I mean, some have like
their own maintenance. Yep,
exactly.
Nah, my neighborhood's not like that. That's mostly the gated shit.
They just tell you to fucking get on it, dude.
Get on this shit, or we're sending you a bill.
Bro,
we're fining you.
Oh my gosh, that makes me feel better because sometimes I think about you, and I'm like, damn, Markson wouldn't let this fucking happen. And now that you just told me you get letters from the HOA, it makes me feel so much better.
I've never gotten one, and my yard hasn't already been taken care of. So I've always taken care of it in the time that it's coming to me. Because I know where the line is. I know where the line is. Ain't my hobby. You know, I'm pushing it to the limit, dude.
Pushing it to the limit. Oh my gosh. Anyway, how we doing? Everyone doing all right? You guys doing all right? What's going on? Anything new? Anything you want to say before we jump in?
We'll talk about it at the end of cast.
Before we do jump in, would you kindly, those listening now live, would you kindly share this video, this live podcast? Hit your DMs, go in your Discord, hit all the people in DMs. Every share truly does help, and we appreciate it tremendously. without further ado, let's get on into it.
We got it.
All right, sounds good. Well, we got some happy gamers this week,
Ooh.
and we're also this is a combo happy gamers and kind of a quick follow-up alert too that we'll go into. But before we dive into it fully, since we got happy gamers, let's do the happy gamer clip.
Approved.
What are they happy about?
Approved.
Well, they're happy about something we talked about last week, and that's this Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered launch. I knew that this was going to be somewhat popular, and that's kind of why we talked about it last week, because Oblivion was such a great game, as kind of we touched on last week when we talked about this. But there's doing a remaster to make money, and then there's doing a remaster correctly. And I think we did briefly discuss that last week. And for all intents and purposes, based on all the feedback online, all the things that I'm seeing, Oblivion Remaster done correctly, and even done so in a way that isn't just farming people for money. And what I mean by that is Bethesda comboed up with one of our favorite deals in the business, and that's Xbox Game Pass. And with Xbox Game Pass, you get the remaster on Xbox Game Pass, and it includes all of the DLC with the remaster as well. On Steam, it's only got a $50 price tag plus an additional $10 for all of the DLC. For the price of a full game, you're getting ownership of the entire game and all the DLC all packaged together.
Ownership?
Well, sorry, quote unquote ownership. That's a good point.
We use real words around here.
Debatable.
That's fair. On Nexus mods, there's already over 188 mods for Oblivion, so the modding community has been just fantastic and responsive to this already. There is the Sky Oblivion team over Elder Scrolls, which I believe is the one that's working on the next iteration of Elder Scrolls. So I think that's like Elder Scrolls 6. Yep. I don't know why it's called Sky Oblivion. I don't know if that's actually the name of the title or, just what they dubbed that team. But they've been assuring everyone that they have not worked on this project. This is not taking away from what they're doing. They've been given keys to Oblivion to also play it and test it and do things in the Oblivion stuff that they've done themselves. I mean, this thing is being dubbed online by a lot of sites as the gold standards of remakes and remasters. And personally, I'm shocked.
I can tell you why.
Why?
Go for it.
Unreal Engine 5, baby. They took a phenomenal title, a genuinely game-changing title. Like, go ahead, you can roll that bad boy.
Yeah, I was gonna turn the sound off. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
dude.
This is just back. This is just
This is just what it was and what it is in the remaster.
Oh my god.
Yeah, bro. That coming out of right there is what I always point to as just a defining moment in my gaming career of just being like, holy shit, we're in the future, baby.
Whoa.
And I think it was that game for a lot of people. It's so fun. It genuinely has some of the best side quests in any RPG I've ever played. Everything actually felt like it was worth doing. You could just randomly explore and you didn't feel like you were wasting your time, which is a big, tall order for me. Like, I'm very guarded with how I'm spending my time. And if I feel that entertained by like a side mission, like that's pretty huge. There's very few games I've ever felt that way for. So, Oblivion's a great game. It's a perfect title to remaster. UE5 being the tool set to do that. I'm stoked that the performance is good. I'm stoked that the game looks acceptable for 2025 for people who are diving into the title for the very first time. Because I think that's a lot of people right now. They've always heard like, hey, Oblivion's sick, but it's a pretty big barrier of entry if you go back and you look at the original graphics in 2025. So I think that this was a great shout, and I think it's a much needed positive press for Bethesda before and leading into Elder Scrolls 6.
Might keep it a bean, dude. Yeah, it looks great. However, I see areas that it could have been much better. One, the characters, they kind of still look like crap, to be honest.
I think there is on the side of the characters, I'll mildly defend this. I think them looking like clowns is part of the appeal. Like, that's part of the magic. Mm-hmm. That's a little bit of like some old Oblivion jank that it's definitely part of the charm.
Okay.
I've seen some characters in the character creator, and really the objective is make your character look as goofy as possible. And I saw some characters. Shout out Deadly Slob one time for the one time. His face is twisted. It is not. It just something ain't right about it. And his character, of course, very handsome fella. But his character looks crazy, and I love it. And it's part of the content. You know, it's fun because you see your character from time to time. You're like, oh, kind of really takes you back for a minute, and you forget that you made your character look like that at the beginning of the game. I don't know. I like it.
I would say the characters look like shit, but the first thing I noticed is, just because I know Unreal, foliage, trees, grass. It's been amazing for a long time on Unreal Engine. Yep. So that stuff looks great. The stone looks a little too clean. So like let's see, like everything. No, that one actually looks pretty good. The stone on the ground looks great. The cobblestone texture, how it the depth map with the dirt and the grass being under and the cobblestone being raised. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's just like the stone on the clip we're about to watch. Let's see. It's just like the structures look a little too clean and put together. I think they could have did a little bit better there. But dude, the foliage, the ground, the part where things connect to the earth, the transition from earth to standing thing, that's always the hardest spot to get like really good when you're talking about 3D assets. So everything looks good. Like the tombstones on the ground, they look really good. If you go back to the jump, or not the jump,
that's actually a
go to the
transition right there.
Oh yeah, it's fire. Go, yeah. So look at pause it, or go in front of this and then pause it. Right in. This is the after.
Right before this, yeah.
Yep. So look at the transition.
Oh wait, we went too far. Sorry, hold on.
Too far. Look at the transition from grass to tombstone. You see how it's just like it's just. That's always the hardest part, and they didn't even try to obscure it. They didn't even try to block it by anything. It's just flat grass, tombstone. The transition.
This was cutting edge. They're showing it off. What are they going to obscure, man? This is it.
And then if you run it, if you play it, you see it gets a little better. They put a little bit of grass in front of it. They put a little bit darker of dirt and shadow. Those are always the spots where, and you could see in the back where the bricks are of the whole statue, it's blocked by grass and dirt mound and whatever other structures are in front of it, because that's always the hardest part when you're doing 3D assets, is when it connects to the ground.
Yeah.
So anytime you could block it or obscure it, it's like that's what you try to do, so that people don't see the transition from ground to object. But dude, this I mean, dude, I'm an Unreal Engine fanatic. It looks great, dude. Obviously it looks great.
And they've even done a lot of stuff to preserve, like, Mark alluded to, with the jank of the game, the original game. Like, they did a lot of voice acting where they re-recorded different lines for the race, like different races in the game. That way, like, it could have like a more like individual voice acting to give the races individual flavors and character in their voices, but they kept the lines the same. There's a lot of goofy lines, like the mud crab lines and stuff that they had in the past that are pretty iconic to people. And they did a really good service to the game by preserving those voice lines and just updating them in a different way by providing new voice actors and more race-based stuff to keep the races sounding similar and stuff like that. So really kudos to their preservation of what made the original game enjoyable to a lot of people, but doing it, doing the remaster and just updating it. So I don't know. I'm shocked at how good of a job they did with this. When I first heard about this, I was thinking this was just going to be a massive money grab to raise some funds to complete their next project. But I don't know. I'm having a hard time finding people saying much negative about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the value is solid too, in the sense where the content's going to keep coming, right? Because of the modding community, because of Nexus and everything that they do over there. There's going to continue to be some very dope experiences that just keep getting added on to this, and that's really exciting. So seems like it should end up being pretty good value for anyone involved, and huge, like infinite value for anyone with Game Pass.
Pass.
Shout out Game Pass.
Yeah, that's wild. That's crazy.
It's juiced, man. Just
oh my gosh.
The juice doesn't stop coming.
Game Pass. You've always said
Game Pass dude.
Game Pass is the way. You've always said it. Always. And I mean, I haven't heard anything to say you're incorrect.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is like, I wouldn't have ever expected them to continue to make it as good as it is now. Like, I I think they could have gotten away with doing a whole lot less and still been pretty successful with it. And so they just keep adding value. It's a beautiful thing. Feels good, man.
I was pretty shocked when I was trying to find some negatives, right? Because that's the fun part of this. Sometimes is find the bad. And specifically with the Game Pass, I was like, oh, I can't wait to look this up and see that you don't get the DLC. When I saw all the DLC was included in the Game Pass too, I was actually shocked. I was like, man, that's really good. They kind of crushed that.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and it's made this whole hype thing has made its way into, the old heads too. Like Nooch was hitting me up and talking to Stone about it in Snapchat, and they were like, "Yo, did you hear about the Oblivion remaster?" Like, damn, it's actually getting busting through the old head circle too.
Shout out the old heads, dude.
Yeah. But that just it's got a big wave to it. So good for them. What else we got?
All right. Well, so I know that, if you're somebody who follows, the stock market and things like that, you're probably lately been a little upset as there's been a lot of volatility and fluctuations. But I have good news for you. There's a great new thing that you can. Well, we shouldn't even say new thing. There's a great thing that you can invest into, and that's Counter-Strike 2 skins. Because in Counter-Strike 2, the skins overall market value has now hit a combined $4.5 billion in market capitalization, and that's billion with a B. So Counter-Strike skins are going crazy. They continue to increase in value. They continue to have a market where people are regularly trading them and trading them for real money, trading them for Steam currency, all these different things. I mean, skins are still pumping in Counter-Strike.
Get it twisted. Gamble. You will win. You know what I mean, Slum?
Dude, relax. Oh, Jesus. Oh my gosh, bro. We're not financial advisors.
It doesn't surprise me whatsoever that the skins are at an all-time high. Valve clearly has doubled down on all of that by basically coming up with like a basic CS battle pass that now exists, where you can unlock these stars through playing the game, and as a result, you can open cases, or you can receive cases with the stars, and then buy a key, of course, to open the case. Right, every single time it busts wide open.
And do you want to hear this stat, Mark, real quick? That really caught my eye. I'm going to highlight it too. In 2023, from case openings alone, Counter-Strike generated nearly $1 billion in revenue for Valve, the game's developer.
Yeah, man.
Well, duh, it's a freaking casino.
And it's not only a casino. It's a marketplace where they take a % of every transaction as well.
Oh my gosh.
Every single transaction, they take a
so it's like a casino, but before every bet you have to hit the ATM.
Yeah.
Because they have that freaking $7
little fee. Oh yeah, there's a little something off the top.
Disgusting.
Even when you win, when you want to go cash in your winnings, they also just take a little cut of that too.
Oh yeah. Hey, that's the tip. You got to tip out, dude. It is what it is.
Oh my god.
House always wins, Slum.
You don't tip the person in the cage.
Sometimes.
You tip the dealer. You tip the person in the cage. That's wild.
If you won on a machine.
Never. No way. Well, first of all, don't play the machines. Second of all,
sometimes you got it. Sometimes one will just call to you, and then you go play it, and it's a dub, and you walk away. A happy man.
The person
so happy they might even tip the person in the cage.
You ain't tipping the person in the cage. No one tips the guy in the cage. I don't know what to tell you. You tip the dealer if you want. If he or she has been taking care of you,
dealers
tip the dealer.
Suck, dude. Dealers come in and they just rake you over the coals. It's bad.
When you there's a hot table and then they rotate the dealer and it just ruins it.
Hey, this is Amy.
Oh my gosh,
Amy, you suck.
You fucking ruined it.
We were killing it.
Smile on their face too. That's the best part.
Dude, yeah, shit-eating grin the whole time.
They're happy. Yeah.
That's bad, terrible. Dude.
Anyway, so they generated in 2023 nearly $1 billion.
And that's just from the case open. Once again, that is just from opening cases. So that's essentially purchasing keys and opening the cases.
Yeah.
Right. That does not factor in the fact that people are aftermarket trading the skins once again, and they are taking a cut every single time you sell that through Valve.
That's nice. Love that. Now they have a battle pass and all sorts of stuff. So much monetization. You really just love to see it. That being said, CS has recently hit an all-time high player base. It is what it is. It's literally never been bigger. We're 25 years deep, and the snowball is out of control. Rock on, Gaben. Rock on.
I guess so, dude. I guess so. Keep gambling, as Marshall said.
Get it twisted. What else we got?
Can't lose. All right. Well, I guess to do another quick little follow-up on some things we've talked about in the gaming space previously, Mark's favorite console, the upcoming Switch 2, there are now worries about supply and demand here because already over 2.2 million people have applied to purchase the new console in Japan alone. It's far exceeding Nintendo's expectations for sales of the Switch 2, and they are starting to worry about their ability to keep up with the demand and be able to supply enough of these consoles out to the people that are purchasing them.
Bro, I demand they supply me a console that I can be excited about. God damn it, man. I'm glad there's some people out there that are hype, I guess.
Well, I'd like to extrapolate on this a little bit.
All right.
All right, so Abe, let's try to be in sync here.
Okay.
I want to see the chart of the Switch sales for the first one. I think we brought this up before, but let's bring up the chart of sales for the Switch 1, and let's see what it did.
Because you want it by a year?
Whatever you can find. Let's just see it.
Okay.
Because this is probably just BS. It's probably publicity, whatever. Because if we look at that chart and it's even close, if it's half, if it's 3/4 of what they did the first month, they're bullshitting. Like if it's a Switch 2, you double it or you half it or something. I don't know, but you definitely know it's going to do numbers. So if we see the first chart and it's like prepared for something like this, they're bullshitting. They're bullshitting and you're going to be able to get your Switch. You're fine. But if we see the chart and it's like dog shit, then they might be right.
I'm trying to get some free ones. They're trying to get me to pay for.
I do think that there's obviously a marketing tactic towards feigning limited supply, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously. Mm-hmm. That gets done in many different markets. I do think it was not the case with the PS5. I think Sony wishes they could have supplied more given what the situation was. I think obviously COVID did have a significant impact on supply chain, and that made their console release much more difficult for them. And they could have made more money for sure had they not had that issue, because they weren't making the money on the aftermarket sales. People were, which sucks, right? Like that they're not Steam. It's not a digital thing where they can just throw on their where you need to tip out the person in the cage. So I think that there's definitely supply chain strain with the current global economy and the tariff battles that are going on. Whether or not that's going to affect the Switch, I think, is really to be seen. And I do find it a bit, I don't know, it's a bit cheeky of them to put this out there as like an official release for the sake of like news coverage. That definitely makes me feel like, yeah, part of this could be true. It's semi-believable, and it's definitely good marketing. So let's just say it.
Okay, well then let's see. What do we got here, Abe?
This one is this is officially from Nintendo, one of their presentations that shows a combination on the right, a combination of the total annual sale of hardware units as well as their annual. The problem is that a lot of these charts are trying to get me to pay for the data to be able to see it. So I'm trying to find official stuff that they put out there.
What do we have when they released in 2018? It looks like, right?
Yeah. So if you look at 2018 on this one here, what you're seeing is these are in millions. So you're seeing lifetime sales and then yearly sales. So I believe they had some pre-sales in 2017, like pre-orders leading up to it, which was about 2.74 million. But these are the worldwide sales, I believe. So if we compare pre-sale in 2017 of 2.74 million compared to the expectation of 2.2 million units in Japan alone, that is pretty substantial.
Is that it? It's in Japan alone? That's what that article says?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
That is indicative of a likely large increase in the total sales worldwide.
100. No, I get it. I get that.
Yeah.
If that is for Japan, are you sure that article said just for Japan?
Yep. Yeah. 2.2 million people in Japan alone, and they put out a statement saying that there's going to be potentially some issues getting
that's a lot.
So in its first month on sale, the original Switch sold for 360,000 units in Japan. So I mean, this is
holy crap!
An incredibly large increase in their Japanese sales, which is not looking good for their ability to supply the console to the rest of the world.
Oh, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They'll make it work. You'll be able to get your Switch. It's not. I mean, is this stuff made in Japan or made in China? What do you think?
I believe it's made in both. I believe they have parts that are done in China and parts of that
would be my assumption. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are screwed. Never mind. Never mind, dude. It's Switch 2 is going to be $800. It's coming if it's being made in China. We're screwed, guys.
You might actually need to gamble to be able to afford a Switch 2. Actually, now that we think about it, yeah.
You got to go to one of those things where you can buy the unopened
Amazon
boxes. You got to open Amazon crates.
Just hope one's in there, dude.
Just hope you get pull Switch. That's a gold.
Hey, listen, Storage Wars, gold, baby. I'm in. Let's do it. Bust that case wide open. Yeah.
I would love to do a storage auction at a couple
Hell
storage
yeah,
units.
dude.
That'd be fire, dude. We should do it.
Yeah, that's good content. We gotta write that down.
I'll probably get one. Not yet though. I'll let the hype die down a little bit, but I'll probably snag one.
You gonna get one of those little cameras too? Plug it in when you're traveling.
So stupid. No, absolutely not.
Buy one of those cameras. Use it as a baby cam.
Yeah,
we'll be all right. We don't need the Switch attachment camera. No, thank you.
All right.
What else we got, Abe?
All right. Well, today marked a pretty big milestone for a little platform called YouTube. What we're kind of broadcasting on right now. On YouTube, 20 years ago today, the first ever YouTube video was published. So the first ever video ever put out on YouTube occurred 20 years ago today. It's surprisingly hard to get it. I had a version of it earlier.
Why is it not on YouTube?
There was a copyright issue when I was trying to do. It's called Me at the Zoo.
Gosh,
I don't know if I can get the original one again.
For the first one, the first one on YouTube, they couldn't just make it.
Got it. I got it again. Hold on.
Don't worry about any of these laws.
I think a lot of people have been visiting this today, which is probably part of. Yeah, there you go. 355 million views 19 years ago. So Me at the Zoo. This is the and I guess I can unmute this for this right now. But this is the first ever YouTube video.
Is the first YouTube video published on YouTube.
Yep. So Me at the Zoo.
Let's see. Is it a banger?
All right. So here we are in front of the elephants. Cool thing about these guys is that they have really long fronts, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say.
So there you go. That
would go into a short speed these days. I would go right into a short speed. I also like the way it started. Like, all right, so here, it really, the evolution to, hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're gonna be, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't start like that, and I think we're worse off for it.
Who is this guy?
I don't know.
This is Jawed, and he has 5.34 million subsrbers.
Did he go on to make more content? Let's see.
Yeah, is it just
that's what I want to know. Like, what was his evolution like?
No.
I knew it.
No, he did not. He's made video. Me at the Zoo.
He's a one and done. He's a one take Andy.
Look, his whole page is look at his banner and his picture.
It's the fucking elephants, dude. They got long trunks.
Holy crap.
I like that. He should sell his account. That's what he should do.
Ooh,
No,
that's very true.
Absolutely would do that.
The day that channel turns into anything more than this is the death of that channel.
Yeah, of course, but that's not his problem. He's getting paid first.
You're not wrong about that.
I mean, do you think that video was monetized? And do you think he made any money on that? Because I don't.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think it is.
Bad investment, great sell. For sure, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Unless all you do is just put a website on the banner under the elephant or something, and that's it. You don't do anything.
Oh, you could sell ad space. That's a really good idea,
small,
actually.
Though. Nothing crazy.
Could be good.
Yeah.
Just capture the people that are like, what is that link there? Like, don't do it.
Like get a longer trunk today with.
There you go. Hey. That too.
I'm
actually.
all about frictionless integration. That's all I'm saying, baby.
Damn.
That's all I'm saying.
BlueChew.com/Jawed.
Yep.
For 10% off.
Code Stan at checkout.
Jawed.
That's crazy.
That's
crazy. All right. All right. Well.
Oh, jeez.
That's cool, man.
Good for him. Good for him. All right. Well, congrats, YouTube. Yeah, you've literally dominated the world. You've come a long way. And I look forward to you being our overlord for the next 100+ years.
Let's go, baby. That's why I'm a partner.
Real quick too, they did also do that. There's a little their little scrolling icon is now a birthday cake to celebrate their 20th birthday.
There you go.
There's a little Easter egg that they added in there too.
Celebrate good times. Come on.
Thank you, baby. All right, what do we got next?
All right, well, I have a quick fast food update, and this one is exactly what we predicted was going to happen. But we talked last week about how the snack wrap is coming back. Well, Slum, you mentioned this, but what's the primary ingredient in the snack wrap?
The premium select chicken tender.
Correct. And McDonald's has announced, you know what? They're coming back too.
Oh, dude, those are fire, dude. Does that mean the sandwich is coming back too?
So right now they just announced it as McCrispy strips.
Yeah, that's not select, bro. That's not those are not the tenders. Look at the breading. Go back.
Good point.
Go back in time. Go back to the Wayback Machine and look at what the strips and the chicken select sandwich used to look like. And you tell me if that's the same consistency of the breading. That's not breading. That is coating.
I think you're onto something here. Hold on. You might have uncovered something.
Who are you talking to? I live off of this food. This is like, there you go.
Those look crazy good.
Those look crazy better.
God, those look so
It's not the same shit.
Good.
They're not, but they didn't bring. There's no select.
Man, I want that. Not the same. And I want honey mustard just poured all over me.
Well, that also means that they're probably using these in the snack wrap, so
100%.
they're not using the same quality.
No.
Oof. Are people going to complain? That's the question.
They better, dude. I haven't went to McDonald's. I haven't went to McDonald's in months, bro. I'm a Wendy's guy now because McDonald's stays on this fucking nut shit.
They on some nut shit, dude. That's unlucky. Damn, I'm sorry. Abe got you all excited. I just watched a man be so let down.
I got bamboozled, to be honest with you. I got bamboozled here. I'm a little upset. The article states that they're returning the snack wrap and its main ingredient, but they aren't. I mean, Slum is correct here. This is clearly wrong. That is clearly a different type of chicken strip.
Ain't right.
It is, but look, it's McCrispy strips. If you go back to the other picture, they're selects.
They're selects.
They're literally different things.
Oh man, what I would do for some selects. Where do you get selects these days? Where, like, you think you could find a chicken tender like that around?
Much better chicken tenders. Yeah.
I mean, where do I find a chicken tender like that? I feel like you have to go to like a standalone ale house or something to get some tendies like that.
Nah. Raising Cane's, dude.
I don't have that in my area, brother.
Tender.
All right, here you
go. They're great.
If you want, like, that
it's not near me.
If you want that type of stuff, you could probably go to Popeyes. KFC's got solid strips as well. Popeyes is probably better than that. KFC is better than that. And then if you want a delicious tender, but not quite that, Chick-fil-A always, dude. Chick-fil-A's got the best chicken. Oh my
It's
God.
good quality chicken, but that's not what I'm looking for here.
Okay, all right.
Like
this is
I
the
like when
Popeye
it's this and it's good quality chicken, but it's the level of breading, right? Where it kernels in places. It's a consistency.
Well, do you like it thick
Because
or
I don't like this Popeye shit.
that's just flaky?
Yeah, I don't
which
like
is
that.
delicious.
Not
you don't
for
like
me.
it flaky.
No, I want to get some.
Okay.
I want to get some crunch, dude. I want.
You still want a layer of coating and
Yeah.
crisp on top, not just the layer of coating.
Yep.
That's McDonald's right now.
Yep.
You want the layer and then a little bit of crisp.
Yep.
Okay, I see what you're doing there. All right.
There was a place that I grew it was like a standalone place. We'd go there specifically for the chicken tenders. And
you said this last time too. What was that?
Dude,
what place was that?
I'm not gonna dox myself because this was only
sure.
But it was just a complete one-off, and they just had the best chicken tenders. And I've been looking for that style for the last 25 years.
What
and
about these?
I don't know.
Mark?
I'm distraught.
I think you might have some of these by you because I know that I know
What is
that
that?
I've seen them
Those
in the
look
set.
better
Those are
than
Zaxby's.
Those look better than the
Zaxby's is butt cheeks, dude. Zaxby's is one of the really bad. But it
He's
is
got
also
a lot of love online too.
It's one of those there's no standards across the board for Zaxby's. It depends on the establishment. But the ones that have been near me historically, like the one by downtown Gainesville, really truly one of the grossest establishments that has ever existed on the face of the earth. Horrifying.
Oh man.
Yeah. Just absolute they are on the verge of being shut down by the health inspection board every week. For sure.
It's crazy that franchises don't have, some of them have strict oversight
like Chick-fil-A
and checking in on. Well, they're kind of slacking too, dude. They're kind of slacking.
You got a local place that's letting you down?
Well, I always kind of check out a Chick-fil-A if I pass it. You guys know.
What do we got going on here?
Where? Oh yeah. Okay, I do go in there. I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
You guys know that I'm saying I'm a Chick-fil-A guy. Much respect to Chick-fil-A because I used to work there and they taught me a lot about customer service, taught me a lot about how to show up to a place on time, be ready to work. You don't show up to a place if you're clocking in at 8, you don't show up at 8 because then you take 15 minutes to get ready. You show up a little earlier. So you're ready, you clock in. Learned a lot from Chick-fil-A. So I always just kind of stop in and just be like, are they doing it as good as the place where I came up? And their standards are dropping, man. The shirts aren't tucked in anymore. They're letting these people go in there with gauges. They never let me wear mine. They made me put in these little tan colored butthole plugs that it made me look weird, dude, because I got big earlobes. So if the gauges aren't in there, I just look like I got a big earlobe. So, but they used to make me do that, tuck my shirt in, shave, also have your hair cut, all sorts of stuff, man, because they have standards.
I hear you.
Now, I go in, their shirts are untucked, they got tattoos showing, which, dude, I got nothing against that type of stuff, but it just shows me Chick-fil-A is kind of moving in a different direction. And
there's some directions they can move in that might be an upgrade.
Maybe their clientele is getting a little bit into a different generation now.
Yeah. I think so.
The one near me was mostly old folks and
maybe they could start opening on fucking Sundays. How about that? Because every time I want Chick-fil-A, it turns out to be Sunday, and it just ain't right, dude.
That's the Lord's day.
Yeah, well,
that's the Lord's day.
Yeah.
I respect them for whatever your reason is. A rest day, Lord's day, whatever it is. I respect them for having a day off.
You know what
dude?
goes really good with a day of rest? Some motherfucking chicken tenders.
Chick-fil-A.
That's all I'm saying, dude.
Except
I'm not a tenders guy from there anyway, though. I like the nuggets.
I like it all, dude. It all tastes good. It all tastes good.
I'll tell you, I used to be a big fan of the Chili's chicken crisper, and I'm pretty sure that they've let that fall. That was, in my opinion, the greatest tender that was ever made.
Ever go to Chili's, dude? My brother used to work there. He would piss in the sinks in the back.
Well,
don't
listen. Your brother is not the standard. I don't think.
You don't think so?
No.
Have you ever watched Waiting?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's most of those restaurants.
Okay. I'll be honest, bro. I think for the price and what they offer, I think Chili's is not bad, bro. If you get a nice local Chili's, I think Chili's can be a nice value. I think Chili's is better than Applebee's. That's a fact. And I know you fuck with Applebee's, but Applebee's is about as bad as it gets.
First of all, keep the bees out of your mouth. Don't you ever disrespect the bees. That's absolutely absurd. And if my wife's back wasn't thrown out from being pregnant, I'd get her in here to just fucking slam you right now because you're talking crazy right now. Like, you gotta chill because you're saying a lot of big words and I don't understand them, so I'm gonna take them as disrespect. For real, you gotta chill with that. Applebee's is literally the finest establishment. I understand where your allegiance lies. You go after 9, which we don't go after 9 because we're old and we sleep.
That's crazy.
You go after 9, all the apps, which is the stuff you want anyway, half off. Bro, in today's economy, ain't no one doing that shit. The bees is.
Dollarita. They have the Dollarita too, which is one of the greatest deals out there. Yeah, it's a $1 margarita. The $1 margarita, the Dollarita.
There's a reason that those apps are half off and their margarita is $1. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's you're gonna wake up feeling like if you eat nothing but spinach dip, artichoke dip, and Dollaritas, you're done.
That shit ain't right,
You know what's crazy as well, bro? Me and Trish go there, and just the last Friday on date night, we said, I can't remember the last time we had a shitty server here. Like
that's awesome. You have the anomaly Applebee's. I do think that. Yeah. I do. Bro. I want it when the next time we're in your area. Let's go to Applebee's.
Yeah. Okay. Is Applebee's one of those places where it could be very inconsistent?
I think so, for sure.
Okay. All right.
I think we should do an Applebee's comparison. You should do an Applebee's by Slum and an Applebee's by Mark, and then we'll determine.
Hey, I'll be honest, dude. I'm not going to Applebee's twice. I like where this was going, and then I realized that it involved me going to Applebee's more than once, and I'm out on that.
You might be right, because me and Tub, when we were going to see Fotini and her baby, me and Tub went to the Applebee's near my mom's house in Jersey, and we ordered a gigantic order, and we called it in, and then we showed up, and it wasn't ready yet, so we sat at the bar. They put the bags in front of us, and me and Tub ordered a beer, so we were just drinking a beer, and they put the bags on the counter in front of us, said, all right, have a great day. We sat there for another 15 minutes finishing our beer, and then we left. No one rang me up.
Unreal.
No one did nothing. Now, if you guys are going to come at me for doing that, so be it. I stayed there for 15 minutes waiting for someone to ring me up, paid for the beers, and, never had to pay for the food. I think they were just giving it to us for free, to be honest.
Okay.
So, but that might be them just slacking and they're running their establishment like crap, because they just let us walk out with like $90 worth of food.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, hey, dude, you get it where you can.
All right.
What is this? What are you showing me here?
This is the Dollarita. They don't even put it in a margarita glass. It's in a beer stein.
Yeah, but what is it? It's just mixer. It's probably just all.
Oh, it's just sour mix and tequila. I guarantee it's probably the worst margarita you'll ever drink.
They're not putting tequila. They're not putting a shot of tequila in that for $1.
It might just be house tequila, whatever that is. It ain't that Dwayne The Rock Johnson tequila.
Caramana, not good.
Who knows? I wasn't.
What's the Clooney one? I like the Clooney one. Casamigos.
Casamigos, also not good.
Yeah, dude. You're
Reposada. Casamigos. Reposada.
I've had them.
All right. Well,
I went on a deep dive on the tequilas recently.
Oh, did
you?
Really?
Not like recently, but I would say maybe about a year ago we did like exclusively tequilas for FBFs for a while. Okay. You know what? It's Cinco de Mayo coming up, dude. The next FBF we're going tequila. Let's get it twisted.
Ooh.
I mean, apparently that's the healthiest liquor to drink.
Yeah.
If you get a really awesome quality and clean tequila.
Yeah.
So I ain't mad at you.
I drink it on the rocks. A little squeeze of lime.
Doesn't bother me one bit. It's
one of my favorite drinks. Right? Yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless your soul.
All right, well,
hey, listen. Enough tequila, and I might go to Applebee's twice. That could be nice.
Well, they got this today at the Dollarita.
Can you bring your own tequila?
Bring your own Rita.
Bring your own Rita.
Yeah, bring your own tequila.
All right. What else we got, Abe?
All right. So this last one, to jump into an actual sciencey topic here, Columbia has been doing research on the human brain.
Oh.
Specifically, they've been doing research on the mitochondria within the human brain, so the powerhouse of the cell.
Our bottom of the cell.
Yep. And what they've actually done now is they've created an energy map of your brain mitochondria to get an understanding basically of your brain's usage and generation of energy. So in order to do this, they've actually had to take brain samples, freeze them, and cut them into microscopic cubes so that they can then put this under the correct microscopes and analyze this to get this energy mapping. The reason that this is important is that they believe that with mitochondria transfusions and transfers, they are able, and basically replacement of your brain's mitochondria, they can help your brain re-energize itself. And they're exploring this now as a way to cure common brain, or I shouldn't say common, but some of these detrimental brain diseases like Alzheimer's and other things that are impacting your cognitive functions.
I'm looking at this. So are they doing like thin slides of this?
Yeah. So this is the frozen brain, and they're taking slices and cubing it, and then they're using this to do it. Like, basically, they're cutting it into a size that corresponds to the resolution of their neuroimaging scanning, because previously they were working off of MRIs and other microscopic data, and it was like they weren't able to truly analyze their mitochondrial density and things like that within the brain.
Yeah, but are you asking if they're just squeezing this cube down on a slide after they cube it?
Well,
or if they have a way of looking at it cubed?
So when I did peripheral nervous system research, we would take nerves and then we would implant them in paraffin wax. And that way you could then cut slides, really thin sheets, into a water bath and then slide them. And you can get these cross sections of the nerve that's implanted through this wax, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm curious if like this is just pure brain frozen. So I'm curious, like, are they just like thin slicing this and then looking at that on a slide, or
if they have
just out of curiosity? I don't know if they talk about it. I'm just curious.
I don't think they talked about it in this article. Like the big thing here is that the reason they did it in this function was because they were having issues with using the differences in MRI technology, essentially, and microscopic studies of the mitochondria themselves, and they look under the microscope.
Well, neuroimaging scanners. So depending on whatever scanner they're using, maybe they can scan a cube, a 3x3x3 cube. Nowadays, who knows? I'm curious. I wonder if they freeze the brain if you lose anything, like if something dies or if something stops. I know it somewhat preserves it, sure, but like also there's a potential that extreme cold does something to the brain that isn't necessarily. But I mean, these guys are smarter than me, so probably not. But I know your brain is not supposed to be frozen, so maybe something could happen where you're like, we made all these scans, and this looks like this, but you know, the brain is frozen right now.
There's absolutely cell death when they do this.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
The interesting part that the mapping that they're doing reveals, though, right? And this section here kind of is talking about, but essentially, depending on the region of your brain, there's like different densities of mitochondria, but also different types of mitochondria. And what they've found is that in regions of your brain that help differentiate humans from other animals, they're like incredibly more dense with these mitochondria. So they do believe that like the way that these cells are structured and the energy production in certain parts of your brain is key to a healthy brain and what helps it function at a high level. So they do believe that by transfusing mitochondria into the brain and replenishing them, that you can really improve brain health. That's the idea behind this.
They're trying to treat potentially like degrading some sort of central nervous system disease with supplementing the bioenergetics through just like pumping mitochondria in there. They think that is going to be helpful.
They do, yeah. They believe that maybe failing energy production in your brain is a reason that you're having cognitive decline in some of these issues.
Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I'd be curious to see if they come to any sort of like conclusion on that front. Obviously, like the leading cause of a lot of these types of diseases is the demyelination, which is like essentially the protective sheath, right, that exists through the pathways of the brain. And when that goes, then there's not the same level of connection between things. But yeah, I'd be curious to see if this has an impact. This is definitely like a different approach. So sometimes you need.
There was this show that I just watched on Netflix. It was an animation show, and the concept was there is AI and then there's scanned intelligence. So you have your artificial intelligence. Say there's a virtual reality world. You got your AIs in there, but then you can also scan your brain and turn yourself into a scanned reality or whatever they called it.
Sure.
However, the brain had to be scanned while you were still alive. So they chop the top of your cranium, and then they cross section it, like literally like the picture in this article, real time as you're still alive, and they're burning and cross sectioning all these pieces of your brain, and you inevitably die from it. But because of they have to do it while your brain is fully functioning before anything happens to it, so we have to do it right now. And yes, as soon as you get about a quarter of the way, you don't feel anything anymore, and then you just die afterwards.
Did people do it in like a last-ditch effort to preserve their, like existence or cognition, or did they do it like optionally just because?
So
they were just like, fuck it.
It started as the guy who was developing this technology did it to preserve his brain because he was on the decline, and he couldn't figure it out yet, but he knew his team would figure it out. So he said, scan me. When you figure it out, bring me into the virtual reality. That happened. And then the show is about scanned reality people rights versus regular people rights, because so many people opted in to go into the scanned reality. And then it's a good show. I forget what it's called, but I'll shoot you the title. Great show. But it's interesting because even in that show, the brain had to be alive, it just reminded me of that. I thought that was very interesting. Dude, sounds like it might be is it Upload? No, the show is not called Upload, is it? I don't know, but the show is great. It's on Netflix. Go check it out if you're interested. I was extremely interested. Great concept. I think that was our last topic. Was that our last topic?
That's what we got.
I don't have anything else on the list. That is correct.
We went through that thing. Good job, boys. Markstrom, what do you have coming up exciting in the future? And don't brag about PAX East, all right? Because some of us can't go.
Yeah. Well, on that front, I am going to PAX East coming up. That's in Boston on May 8th. That is when I'll be flying in. So if you're around and you're going to be participating in the festivities, you see me, come say what's up. I always like to meet the homies. We will be there for a few days, all the way through Monday. Should be fun. But more immediately, and maybe more applicably, tomorrow morning, Thursday, April 24th, we will be diving into Marathon for the first time. Brand new extraction shooter brought to you by Bungie. We do have access. We'll be playing it most likely for the next 2 weeks straight until May 4th. Yeah, very excited for that. Will be a fun time to just be in a game that is my genre. It's been a while. So I'm pretty stoked for that. Yeah, roll the stain. You can come check that out at twitch.tv/Markstrom, and I'll tell you what I think.
Twitch.tv/Markstrom. Abe, how about you, dude? What's going on? Anything new?
Well, I will not be here next week. I am going on vacation next week. I think we talked about that last week too, but I'll just reiterate it. I'm not going to be here, unfortunately. I am going on one of my Abe-cations, the first of this year. I don't want to be slandered.
We need to get you an intern.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Unpaid, obviously. If anyone would like to apply for a plugged internship, let me know.
We could. I mean, God, if you want to do a little internship, come on through, dude. It's good credit. We'll talk to your college and see if they can accept those credits. I don't think they will, but we could try. Anyway, Abe, sorry to disrupt.
No, it's fine. But other than when I'm not around and not in the country on my vacation, I will be over at stream. I'm excited to check out Marathon. I do want to know if this is going to be a good iteration of a game by Bungie or what we're dealing with here. And I think Mark will give us some pretty good perspective on stream. So excited for that. And as always, I will be moderating as I'm doing that to the best of my abilities. That's over at twitch.tv/Markstrom.
I'm excited because for the next few days and maybe next week, I'm going to be on my computer cranking out some really cool stuff. So I'll be able to throw you on the monitor up here and be in Discord and enjoy it with you.
Very nice.
Besides that, there's a lot of exciting stuff that I do want to share with you off podcast because, you know, it's the secret stuff. We can't just show it all day one. Besides that, this podcast is a wonderful thing that we do almost every Wednesday. So what I'm going to ask you is, would you kindly share this channel with everyone you know? Share with your mom, your dad, the fish in the fishbowl, the dog on the couch. Share it with everyone in your DMs. That's what I do. Every time we start this podcast, I schlang it. I would not ask you to do something that I'm not doing. I do that because every share truly does help grow this podcast, and we enjoy doing it every Wednesday. Unless Abe goes on vacation, which he just said, Markstrom has a baby, or I have a baby, because I'm about to have a baby. But besides those, we do it almost every Wednesday, and we have a wonderful time doing it. And we want to share that wonderful time with as many people as we can. So if you don't mind, would you kindly share this channel, subscribe, hit the bell? It truly does mean a lot. This has been another wonderful episode of the Plugged Podcast, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Peace.
Deuces.